Hi. As many of you know now, I've decided to kill myself. It's not a terribly big deal. I'm sorry to anyone who I let down. I didn't want to let anybody down. I just have sort of had enough of life. I'm not sure why I'm holding on so hard as I am. And I'm just going to read you a letter. It's just a little template of a letter that I was sending out to everyone. It says, I killed myself today. I know it's not funny if it's a joke, but it happens that this isn't a joke. Most of this letter is a template letter that I wrote for my family and friends, but there are a lot of people on Facebook that are friends from the past and other websites and such, and I don't really mind that anyone hears about this. In fact, I prefer it. I hate the way that we push certain things aside in our culture and don't deal with them. I want you all to know that you matter to me, and I'm grateful to you all. I want to answer people's questions about why I did it, apologize for putting you all through it, and just offer some general thoughts about life and such. As for this video, you know, don't be a Boy Scout and have it taken down just because of the subject matter. I'm trying not to say anything too offensive to get pulled or anything like that, so don't be a Boy Scout and censor it for everyone else. Just let whoever look at it if they'd like to. Alright? Deal? The very first thing I want you to know is I'm completely at peace with this decision. I feel, you know, I'm not a teary-eyed mess, obviously. I wasn't as I wrote that. And I feel very lucid. So I've been thinking about ending my life for a long time. In fact, I can't really remember a time when it was something, when it was not something close to my mind. I'm just not equipped to deal with the stress of life, the discontentment I constantly feel. Sometimes I feel it harder than other times, but it's always there. Even when I'm distracted by something nice, like good times with friends and family, there are only moments of happiness. Most of the time is just a feeling of dread, the weight of things I have no control over, no significant rational basis to value life enough to slug through it. I don't really want to get into the little details because they're not very interesting. There's enough strife coming at all angles that I couldn't give you an exhaustive list of grievances anyway, and even if I could, they wouldn't sound very satisfying. So it just boils down to life is suffering. That's it. There's no winning. There's no getting used to it. There's only a frightened animal searching for ways to survive and minimize pain. There's nothing inherently valuable about life, in my opinion. I want to emphasize this isn't anybody's fault but mine. The last thing I want from anybody is that they blindly lash out. If there's one way you can honor me, should you care to, it is to be calm, be rational, and thoughtful in your reaction. And really just always be that way. That would be nice. I would like my body donated to science in some capacity. Something bothers me a lot about the idea of a funeral and any kind of a monument like a grave or a headstone or anything like that, so please dispense with that sort of thing. Just do what you want and leave other people out of it. Up to now, the only thing that prevented me from killing myself was the anguish that it would cause for people I care about. I'm really sorry. I don't want to let any of you down, and I really mean that. I don't want you to be sad. I hope you won't be too angry with me. You'll heal from it over time, but I had to at last be selfish. I managed to hold on until I'm nearly 38 years old. I've sat through the first half of the movie, and based on what I'd seen, there wasn't any way for it to redeem itself in the end. I'm walking out on this turkey, and it's nothing personal. You probably were part of the sliver that was good. You know, most of you, anyway. I'd like everybody to note that I didn't take the cry for help route, nor did I make the attempt to kill myself in a way that has a high failure rate. It's because I just want it to be over. I don't want to. I don't want to be a burden for anybody. I don't want therapy. I know what the score is. I've heard all the arguments. Therefore, should I be negligent in my handling of it and just put myself in a vegetative state or something? I mean, you know, it's possible, no matter how careful I am, right? Please know that you should pull the plug, and if you're in a position to do it, do it. I made the decision while I was feeling overwhelmed at work this last Thursday, and whereas eBay may have affected the timing, my job was not ultimately responsible. It was a decent job, and I work with decent people. Other people seem to be able to function effectively within that same framework, but I feel all of the little things a little harder than most other people do, I suspect. I don't possess the energy to keep fighting. I'm weak. I didn't want to spend another day dealing with the anguish. I don't really understand how it is for other people, but I do envy it. Those of you who can do it, who, you know, deal with the agony of it, or who don't even consider it to be agony. I wish I had that. I don't have it. I decided that I would just try to have a nice weekend this past weekend, and then, you know, just eat some good food, do some fun things, relax and not let the weight of life get to me, see some people that I cared about, and there are some that I didn't get to see that I really wanted to. So I'm sorry about that, but I knew I would have to act sometime at the beginning of the work week. I didn't want to, for example, quit my job and just go on living for a while like a glutton with no care but for my immediate satisfaction. Something about that sounds appealing, but when I think it through rationally, I know that it just make me more miserable. And at least I got to do some good out the door by doing it this way and doing it now. The good that I'm going to do from doing it now, which means things like preserving my life insurance at eBay, you know, not quitting so I don't have that life insurance, and it does pay out for suicide, by the way, or at least I'm pretty sure it does. So yeah, what I was saying is I hope you understand that no matter how much more time I would have afforded myself, it would have changed nothing and just availed me of some comfort that I get from doing it now, mostly for that reason. You all know that we die in the end, right? It's no great tragedy. I hope that some part of me continues on after death and that I can see you all again, but I sincerely doubt that. I hope for some kind of enlightened state where there is not the pain and anguish that I feel now. And whatever that state is, I'm fairly certain that it wouldn't even slightly resemble the silliness of religions on offer. However, and many of you know this only too well, hoping for it certainly doesn't lend anything to the truth of it. I suspect I will just end, and that will be that, and that's not so bad either. Thank you all for whatever you've done to help alleviate the suffering of life for me in the time that I've known you. And, you know, just know that there are other people out there like me, and you could probably go a long way to help alleviate their suffering too. That's it, really, for the letter.